Hey everyone, are you ready to dive into some Marvel magic with us?
I am so ready.
We are taking a look at the Agatha All Along mid-season trailer that everyone is talking about. We are now past the halfway point of the season,
Yeah.
and wow, things are really heating up.
They really are.
This new trailer is giving us some major hints about where the story might go next, and I gotta say, some of these hints have some really interesting connections to other parts of the MCU.
Yeah, it's exciting to see how this show, it started as this kind of standalone story, but it's really starting to weave itself into the larger MCU. And this trailer really highlights that, especially with who they revealed.
Right, you're talking about the confirmation that Teen is actually Billy Maximoff.
Right.
Those twins from WandaVision, who kind of disappeared when Wanda's hex went away. Turns out that wasn't the end of their story.
No, it wasn't. And for anyone who's been following all the WandaVision fan theories out there, this is huge. We're finally getting some answers. Not only does it solidify that connection between the two shows, but it also brings up all these new questions, like how did Billy even survive the hex? And what does his being here mean for the future of the MCU?
Yeah, and it's not just that we find out who Teen is. The trailer actually shows us Billy experiencing the hex from WandaVision, but from the outside.
Oh, wow.
Like just watching it happen from somewhere else, which is a perspective we haven't seen before. What do you think about that?
That's a really fascinating detail, because we have to remember that Wanda's hex totally warped reality in Westview. So for Billy to be outside of that, to experience it as an observer and not someone who's actually inside the hex, it makes you think that maybe he understands what happened in a different way. Even Wanda might not understand it the way that he does. That could have some really serious implications for his powers, and even just how he sees his own past.
Wow. It's kind of like we're getting a whole new season of WandaVision.
Yeah.
Even though it ended a while ago.
Right.
It makes you wonder what else they're going to reveal as we see more of Billy's story.
Totally. And speaking of reveals, did you catch that line about Rio Vidal? When Agatha says all roads lead to her?
Yeah.
It seems like she might be a bigger part of this whole thing than we first thought.
Yeah, I got some bad vibes from that line.
Yeah.
Especially with those quick shots of her that they show in the trailer. She looks more and more powerful each time we see her.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think it means? Could she be like the real villain here?
Well, the article we read had a pretty interesting theory. It said that maybe Rio is going to be the MCU's version of Lady Death.
Lady Death. For those of us who haven't read all the comics, who is she and why is this a big deal?
So basically, Lady Death is this really powerful cosmic being. She's like the embodiment of death.
Okay.
And she's a pretty big deal in the comics, especially because of her connection to Thanos.
Oh, right, Thanos.
Yeah.
He wanted to impress her, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He wiped out half of everything just for her. So if Rio is connected to Lady Death in the MCU, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, it could mean that her story is going to get a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And the stakes are way higher than we can even imagine right now.
Wow.
And this also ties into those scenes with the Witch's Road that they keep showing.
Yeah.
We still don't know a lot about that. But it seems like it's some kind of ancient magic source, maybe even connected to reality itself.
So we have this mysterious Witch's Road, a potentially all-powerful Rio, and Billy Maximoff, who is just starting to figure out his powers and his connection to WandaVision. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
I feel like this trailer just blew the whole MCU wide open. We're not dealing with just a fun little witchy show anymore.
Right.
This is serious stuff.
This could change everything.
And it makes you think about all those little hints they've been giving us all along, little things that we didn't think were a big deal before. Now they could be clues to something much bigger.
Totally. Makes you want to go back and watch it all again, now that we know what we know.
Exactly. So what do you think all of this means for the rest of the season?
Well, for me, the most interesting thing is Rio. What's going to happen with her story?
Yeah.
Is she going to use her power for good? Or is she going to become something a lot darker? And how does Billy fit into all of this? Are we going to see him trying to control his powers, coming to terms with his past, maybe even meeting Wanda again?
Oh, wow.
There are just so many possibilities.
I know. This deep dive has really given us a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And something tells me we'll be talking about this more as the season goes on.
Oh, definitely. Every episode just brings up more questions.
It really does. Well, I want to hear from you. What did you think of the trailer? What stood out to you? Head over to our social media and let us know. We want to hear your theories. That's half the fun of these Marvel shows, right? Trying to figure out what it all means. So until next time, keep diving deep.